If you eat this, you'll grow back to your original size.
I am Groot.
However, it is cruel to consume a sacred creature like this.
Okay, so what happens now?
Hey, I'm back to being an adult. You might want to put on some... This is so amazing, I'm gonna share this with everyone, okay, bye. Pants. Hey there, sexy. Murderer!
Raindrops are falling on my head.
This is the best day of my life!
Wait, what? It was just a dream? Oh man, that really sucks. I even got a girl's attention, man. That was fake too. I am Groot.
Hello and welcome back to another episode on the KenOhwee Channel, and today we'll be talking about the merc with the mouth, and it is the Figma EX-042 Deadpool DX version from Good Smile Company. And if that sounds familiar, it's because they're also the company that produces this little guy. So there's actually two releases of this Figma Deadpool, and the difference is that the DX version comes with additional accessories, which we'll talk more about that later, and also it's about $12 to $15 more expensive than the normal release. So with that all out of the way, let's start by talking about the box. Clear plastic showing a sneak peek of the figure with a huge introduction of texts at the front. Top and bottom features him wielding his size, and at the side you have one showing him eating a delicious looking chimichanga and the other him parading in his love underwear, and at the back showcasing mostly on his accessories. And of course this box design will be different from the normal release, as everything you just saw in this box design features the DX accessories. So without further ado, let's open this beautiful bad boy up and take a closer look. Hello Mr. Wade. This figure looks pretty nice in my humble opinion, with a few exceptions which we'll talk about later. So starting with the paint application, very nicely painted figure, no smudges, everything looks neat and tidy. I like how they even added some black shades to add more highlight to his muscles, and there's also a few sculpting details, especially on the belt, the holsters, all the lines meticulously engraved, and also a few creases on his suit. And there's a mixture of plastic and rubber materials used throughout this figure, for example, rubber for his straps, holsters, belt, and even on the wrist and feet areas to allow more range of motion. And if I were to use a word to describe how this figure looks, I'd probably say this figure looks soft. The creases aren't prominent to indicate that this is a skin-tight suit. There's no over-exaggeration in terms of muscularity of the figure. For example, there's no bulging biceps or abs or quads, but there's still some muscle definition, as you can see from his shoulders. So everything in its appearance just seems to blend with one another, which may be a plus to some or minus to others. So it all comes down to personal preference. And speaking of its muscularity, because there's no bulging of muscles here and there, it makes this figure look slender. And some body parts just looks much longer than it should, for example the torso area or even the legs, but that's probably the illusion presented from the slender build. A few gripes that I have to highlight is again the absence of a bicep twist. However, his arm swivels much smoother than the SH Figuarts Batman, but I'm not sure if it's only my figure, and probably the smaller muscles and the space provided in the shoulder area allows for easier range of motion. Again, still on team bicep twist, but this just feels like it moves better. Another thing to highlight, which is probably just me, the way his chest is sculpted. As you can see, they sculpted the chest muscles at the bottom, but at the top it goes inwards to allow Deadpool to extend his arms inwards, but it just looks like man boobs, especially from the side angle. That looks like a side boob, as opposed to rock solid chest muscles. And on other figures, this issue is rectified by having another piece inside the arm joint, and with the exclusion of that you have this. But again, it's probably just me. Also, another factor which may be off-putting to some is this disc joint on the legs and the gaping hole on the hamstring, which is intended to allow more range of motion for the knee, but it sacrifices on how this figure looks on the side. So a few aspects on the design which can be improved to make this figure look better, but again, the gripes I mentioned can easily be overlooked, and overall this is still a good looking Deadpool figure to me. Let's see if this Deadpool can actually dance. No, I don't mean the tango. Ugh, come on Wade. Head and neck is connected on a ball jointed peg, so he can look up fairly high, but too much reveals his throat. And he can look down as well, which also reveals a gap behind his head. Side to side, left and right. Arm is connected on the ball joint, 360. butterfly joint, up and down, left and right. No bicep twist as mentioned, but you can rotate his arm and also the ball joint. And like I said previously, it is much smoother. Elbow 360, bicep, flex, wrist breaking 360, up and down. 3 cuts on his abs, upper, mid, and lower. So twist king at the top and at the bottom. But the mid cut, like Marvel Legends, can be pushed forwards and backwards, but it's really stiff on mine. But overall, it allows Deadpool to crunch forward that far and arch backwards that far. Core muscles, check. And the upper and lower cut allows for side to side pivot. Pouches can be swiveled around. Legs is on the ball joint, so it can't be pushed down, but it can kick upwards that far, backwards but outwards. Spread them wide. Thigh, swivel. The gap on the hamstrings allows for this much of a knee flex. What a flex, man. Feet breaking 360, move up and down, pivot, and the twinkle toes. Much to my surprise, this figure actually has plenty of articulation, which allows this figure to do plenty of awesome poses. Looking into Wade Wilson's armory, and this is where you get your money's worth, people. First of all, Figma provides you with a plastic seal with the logo on it to store all your accessories or even your chimichanga if you have one. The fake one, please, don't put a real chimichanga in there. They know how careless we collectors can be. How thoughtful of you, Figma. Thank you. So not including the DX set first. Voila! Look at all these accessories. And for the DX version, you get these additional accessories. Wow. Bless you, Figma. Starting with the stand is the typical Figma base stand. Simply peg it at the lower back of Deadpool for further stability. And talking about the hands, we'll start with the pairs first. Here it comes equipped with his face punching fists, touch my body hands, gun wielding hands, holding the pistols, although it's a little loose on these hands, and here's holding the plasma guns. Knife wielding hands, or it could also be the sai wielding hands, or even the katanas. And a pair of hands to form the heart shape. I love you, Figma. Moving on. He also comes with one hand pointing at the short dude. Shortest Batman ever! One thumbs up hand. Don't forget to leave a like. And you have one rock on hand. Or you can even call it the call me maybe hand.
Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my number, so call me maybe. Yeah.
And of course, the DX version provides you with a hand to hold the chimichanga, which is apparently very neatly folded. No sauce drip at the bottom. Something's not right with this one. They also provide you with an additional peg in case you break one, as the pegs on the hands are pretty small, so please play with caution. And of course, this extra peg has a 99% missing rate, so back into the plastic seal you go. Next up, his interchangeable faces. So to swap these faces, simply pull the current face and align peg to hold to perform a successful facelift, and he already comes equipped with his base face looking all serious, and he has a face looking all happy and giddy, and another one looking like he smelled a really bad fart. And for the DX version, he comes with an interchangeable head, not face, so you gotta pull the base head out and replace it to complete the whole chimichanga eating effect, and I really like how it's sculpted and painted. It looks like he's chewing some chimichanga in there. He comes with the sword holders which can be packed to the back, and one gripe that I have, and again, maybe it's only on my figure, but the sword holders for my package don't fit into the hole really well. The slightest pressure sends the holders flying. Time to battle. Okay, fine, let's put this back on. Okay, now I'm ready for... Are you kidding me? Now I'm ready to tango. To complete the illusions of his weapons being taken out of his holsters, the sword handles can be removed and the guns on his pouches can be removed as well, but as always, store them securely. The knife can also be stored and removed from his shin guard, so all these are definitely a welcome feature, and it just helps in making the illusion all the more real, so very nicely done, Figma. Next up, the weapons. He comes with a pair of katanas, which is a very nicely detailed and painted. You have the red painted details on his handle, and these katanas are rather bendy, so handle with care when you're inserting them into the hands. He also comes with a pair of guns, but they're both from different models. Sufficient enough of detail sculpt, but in terms of paint, it's just a splash of silver on one and black on the other. And also it comes with a knife.
That's not a knife. That's a knife.
And painted with the Deadpool theme, red and black stripes on the handle, and also it's sharp. Next up, the weapons from the DX version. First up, the size. Nicely sculpted as usual, and of course, sharp. And the plasma guns, a lot of sculptural detail as well, but in terms of paint it's just all silver, which is a little bit disappointing as a few splash of colors here and there would have elevated the look of this accessory. But I can overlook that. And my favorite accessory among them all, the reason why I purchased the DX version, the interchangeable legs with the love underwear. Look at that. It seems that they took all the effort that could have gone to the guns and they poured all into these legs. Each individual love painted with rosy pink, just like the chimichanga head, the skin tone which has a more undead color than a real human color, which is intended, and it looks awesome. Kinda wish the joint was colored the same as well. Now it looks like the ligament is the only thing alive compared to the rest of his legs. They also sculpted and painted all the scars on his legs. And to change to these accessories, simply remove the legs and just a precaution. As you can see from the leg joint at the top is much narrower, so to prevent further damage to the leg and ball joint, I'd recommend to pull them out or push it back in on this angle where the leg is straight. Simply remove the boot and peg it back into the other legs and place the pieces together and you have... What? What are you staring at? Have you never seen a man who wore the wrong side of the underwear before? It's not that, it's just that your ass is at the front as well. What? What do you mean my ass is at the front? Oh! My ass is at the front! Wait, that means little Poolie is at my... And you have Wade Wilson in his love underwear looking so epic, and from here this is where your imagination can go wild. You can remove the belt if you want, although it reveals a gap at the side, or you could have one leg of each, or even this. Hey, check it out. I'm Superman! Come on, man. Why are you still bringing that up? Whew! That was a lot to talk about, and wow! Just wow! Even without the DX accessories, there's already plenty of playable accessories that really makes this an extremely fun figure to play with. But the DX accessories just helps take it one step further. And here you have him standing next to his other targets. So, in summary, a few aspects that were highlighted which may affect how this figure looks to some people, but if you can overlook all that, then you'll be having a good looking figure that comes with surprisingly plenty amount of articulation, and with or without the DX version accessories, it still comes with a ton of accessories to begin with, which makes this, yes you know it, an amazing action figure to have. I had a lot of fun playing with this figure and I'm really glad to be having this figure in my collection. However, you'd have to decide whether or not spending the extra $15 is worth those additional accessories, as it may not be necessary to you, but for me personally, it was definitely worth it. Amazing job, Figma! That concludes today's episode, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like, it'll help me a lot and I definitely appreciate it. If you're new, welcome to my channel and don't forget to subscribe for more content about toys, action figures, sketches, and more. Do let me know your thoughts on this figure or the video in the comment section down below. And as always, thank you guys very much for watching and for your continuous support, and I hope you guys are embracing your inner Deadpool and enjoying a big cheesy chimichanga. Stay awesome, stay geeky, and I'll see you guys at the next video.